Hi guys, so today I'm gonna go over multiple news that has been happening in the last week to 2 weeks or so. I'm gonna talk about some things that happened to employees, federal government employees of the Veterans Affairs. A recent EO order from the Trump administration relating to plaintiffs. Uh, New situation with also the Supreme Court, what the U.S. Supreme Court has decided recently on a court case, something related to the U.S. Department of Education regarding DEI portal, what Governor of California is thinking of doing in terms of remote work. So a lot of the state government employees of Cali will probably start having issues to work from home. Also, recent news about what some Republicans have done to join Democrats in a particular state, and what some 15 Republicans AGs are trying to do in terms of internet broadband services for poor communities. So first, I'm going to talk about this article from AP News. It's from March 5th, 2025. It basically talks about how the Trump administration is planning to cut 80,000 federal government employees from veteran affairs for an internal memo. What does that mean? It just means that now any current or retired veterans that wants to apply for services or need help or have questions, now there's going to be less assistance that they can get because a lot of those services going to be hard to be delivered now because of the last employees that will be working for Veteran Affairs pretty soon, if it hasn't occurred yet. And a big issue of this is going to especially impact people who live in the rural areas of the United States, where they have less offices and less ways to communicate, and they really need every employee from Veterans Affairs to assist them who may be current or retired veterans. So I'm gonna watch this video really quick that basically talks about in general what's going
The
on.
Trump administration is planning to cut over 80,000 employees from Veterans Affairs, according to an internal memo obtained by the AP. The VA's chief of staff told top level officials at the agency that it aims
Yeah, this is yeah. It's good that AP News got this information, but this is really difficult for a lot of these federal government employees and people who actually need, aka the veterans that need the services from the Veteran Affairs.
to cut enough employees to return to 2019 staffing levels of just under 400,000. This would require terminating tens of thousands of employees after the VA expanded during the Biden administration. The memo
Yeah, the VA was expanded during Biden administration so that more veterans can get services quicker, in a more efficient manner. We want to make the government more efficient. So why getting rid of these people?
instructs top level officials to prepare for an agency wide reorganization in August. It also calls for agency officials to work with the White House's Doge to take a cold, pragmatic, and disciplined approach to the Trump administration's goals. Officials said the layoffs wouldn't mean cuts to veterans' healthcare or benefits. The Trump administration
Yeah, so this is a problem. This is not going to help veterans, and it obviously will get rid of tens of thousands of federal government employees who are just there to help, literally the veterans in need. So if you're a veteran who voted for Trump the first time and especially the second time, again, this is the thing that we talk about why you should be careful who you vote for. It leads to these type of actions. So this is part of the article here. I'm not gonna read things into details. I have all things to go over, but you guys can pause and read more about it. Everything you see me talking about today will also be part of my description, as per usual. So next article is gonna be about the March 11, 2025, ensuring the enforcement of federal rule of civil procedure 65. So this is not an executive order. I may have said it in early in the video that was an executive order. If I did, I'm sorry. I meant to say this is a memo from the White House, meaning Trump, uh, is trying to implement, which means it also has less of a law-abiding stronghold. But with the whole Trump administration, laws don't seem to really matter much. So, in a nutshell, what does this memo now means for people filing lawsuits or other situation? Well, I'm gonna keep scrolling down so you guys can read it through it and understand a little bit more. I will basically verify more information here that talks about the situation. So this is the paragraph that I believe is the most important one in general for this memo, consistent with applicable laws, the heads of executive departments and agencies, in consultation with the Attorney General, are directed to ensure that the respective agencies properly request under Rule 65, parenthesis C, that federal district courts require plaintiffs to post security equal to the federal government's potential costs and damages from a wrongly issued injunction. Meaning that if you're a plaintiff that wants to file some type of complaint or lawsuit, now the court, it could potentially have to pay penalties, fines, if they find that your complaint or your case is not valid, that it's misinformed or somehow wrong. So you now they make it harder and scaring people to basically push them away from complaining against the federal government and potential other organizations. So this could potentially be expanding the scope of what the White House can do, and this kind of pushes some judges maybe to not do their work as easily or as efficient or as fairly as they would like. So that's an issue that can definitely escalate to the rest of the document. So Rule 65 mandates the court to require in all applicable cases that a movement for injunction post security in an amount that the court considers proper to cover potential costs and damages to be enjoined or restrained party. The security amount the agency is requesting is based on a reasonable assessment of the potential harm to the enjoined or restrained party and failure of the party that moved for preliminary relief to comply with Rule 65 results in denial or dissolution of the requested injunctive relief. But again, there's a little disclaimer that the memo is not necessarily enforceable. This is not a law or anything like that. It's not even an executive order. This is more of a recommendation, you can say, of what Trump wants. Next article. So this is from March 7, 2025. This one, USA Today. So, seeing in court, Trump moves to revise eligibility for some student loan forgiveness. What does that mean? In a nutshell, it just means that now Trump's gonna make it harder for people to apply for forgiveness regarding the student loan debt. It's something that federal uh, government been wanting to do in terms of the Republican slash Project 2025 agenda. They've been wanting to get rid of PSLF, even though this literally is a Republican legislation, but they've been switching around, especially as they related to the Department of Education, which they've been trying to get rid of ED for a long time. So the education department is something they've been hating since the Reagan era, and they've been trying to get rid of it. And student loan forgiveness, especially PSLF, which is Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program, they've been hating that even more. So it's been something been trying to get rid of. Basically make people suffer and just make the rich wealthier. So make the rich richer and the wealthy wealthier. That's a whole nutshell of this whole idea. Why he's doing this. So Trump on Friday signed executive order attempting to begin the process of altering the terms of a major student loan relief program. So he's trying to go forward with revise a law passed by Congress, which he's not. He doesn't have the power to do. But some conservatives gonna be happy about this, but it doesn't make sense because PSLF doesn't. It's not a bad thing to have PSLF or Public Service Loan Forgiveness. It doesn't make sense. It was passed in Congress. So PSLF already passed in Congress in 2007. Biden just made it more expanded. He made it better. And just going down here, it doesn't make sense what he's trying to do. The problem is that a lot of these people work for non-GO, which just stands for non-governmental organizations. That's what NGO is, non-governmental organization, or non-profit organizations that engage in illegal what we consider to be improper activities. What do you mean by improper activities, right? Supporting, for example, illegal immigration or foreign terrorist organizations. Who is working for a non-profit organization who's committing illegal acts? Trump administration is conducting multiple illegal acts right now, and they're still getting away with it. And Trump himself has multiple felonies, so the irony is pretty high. So that's basically they probably talking to people who now work for nonprofits. That's probably gonna be the main target. Yeah, this doesn't make sense. So Trump cannot alter the education department rules governing PSLF with just an executive order. He is legally required to go through a lengthy regulatory process to make changes. I know that's not what Trump wants to do, but in the end, it's going to be hard for him to do much at the moment. This article from March 5th, 2025 from Business Insider talks about how Alito from the US Supreme Court is stunned about some rule against Trump over USAID funding. So basically, the Supreme Court ruled against the Trump administration over USAID's funding. The decision opposed lower court ruling to release funds to USAID's contractors. Justice Samuel Alito dissented, saying he was stunned by the High Court's ruling. Why? It makes sense. Trump doesn't have the power to stop a lot of these fundings. There's nothing wrong with the court decision. U.S. Supreme Court made an actually good decision for once. So this is more information about it was in the 5-4 ruling rejecting the Trump administration request to cancel foreign aid money from the U.S. Agency for International Development, which is just USAID. So that's basically in a nutshell what the article is. I'll scroll down a little bit. You guys can pause if you want to read more, but that's the summary. Interesting enough, back in February 27, 2025, the U.S. Department of Education, or ED, launched an NDEI. DEI stands for Diversity, Equity, Inclusion portal. Again, this is all because of the Trump administration. I don't know how NDEI portal is such a good thing. This doesn't make sense. So the U.S. Department of Education launched the NDI.ed.gov, a public portal for parents, students, teachers, and the broader community to submit reports of discrimination based on race or sex in publicly funded K-12 schools. DI does not increase discrimination, though. It does the opposite. Again, it's just Trump administration. It's like using DI as another way to say something discriminatory towards people of color or women, immigrants, people with disabilities, etc. It's very much a way to kind of tag those people. That's how it looks, the portal. Next article is going to be about straight from the California.gov website. So, Governor Newsom orders return to office. That's what I was talking about. That basically now the governor of Cali is being extremely regressive and is trying to force all Cali state government employees to go back to the office full time. Why? So, state looks to hire former federal workers, including firefighters and forest service staffers, seeking employment. Sure, but why you want to do this? So, Governor Newsom today issued an executive order requiring all agencies and departments within his administration to update their hybrid telework policy. So it looks like so within his administration, he wants to issue the executive order to make people all agency departments within his administration to update their hybrid telework policy to a default of at least 4 days per week by July 1st, 2025. So by July 1st, 2025, agencies and departments within his administration gonna have to basically force employees to go back to work at least not go back to work, but go back to the office at least 4 times a week. People who work from home are working. So it's saying, oh, they're going back to work or going back to work, but you're working from home. It's just bad. It's bad for the environment. Because again, when you work from home, you reduce pollution. So less greenhouse gases in the air, less traffic on roads, so less need to fix roads, more reliance on public transportation, which is better for long-term health with the reduction in pollution. Saves people money in general, way more than going to the office 4 or 5 times a week. It doesn't make sense. Remote work is a good thing. It's not a bad thing. It's a very regressive, very conservative way of thinking on how to handle the workplace. The office is outdated. A lot of people don't have to be in the office anymore, and that needs to be a right for people to be able to work from home if they are eligible to do so. That should be a right. That should be an amendment to the Constitution. We had to update it. It's outdated. Working from home should be a right for anyone who's eligible to do so. End of story. So the claim here is basically that to further enhance the state workers' needs, the governor is also directing call HR to streamline the hiring process for former federal employees seeking employment in key roles, including firefighting, forest management, and weather forecasting. Okay, some of these roles obviously they're not gonna be working from home, but reducing flexibility for people who can work from home to not have to go more times to the office doesn't make sense. Yeah, this is something I don't agree with. Even if it's within his office, whatever case may be, it's still not something I agree with. Six Republicans joined Democrats to pass Medicaid funding bill in the Oregon House. This from February 28, 2025, from the opb.org website. So this is good. So this was a good thing. Surprisingly, that even there were any Republicans that joined Democrats for this. But you need Medicaid funding. A lot of people are going to need that, pretty much in every state. But why would this be a hard thing to do, right? And it passed 4 to 15 with 6 Republicans voting to approve the bill, along with Democrat majority. 15 Republicans, including minority leader Christine Drazen, voted against it. In general, I recommend people to stop voting for Republicans. It just makes things worse for you. So much worse. So the bill, HB 2010, extends appeal taxes through 2032. Okay, nothing wrong with that. This is just more details about it, but that's really it. So this article from Tech Dot website talks about how 15 Republicans AGs urged the Supreme Court to make providing affordable broadband to poor people illegal. So uh, this is from March 3rd, 2025. So instead of, unfortunately, I was hoping that, because a lot of the things I'm reading more like today. So earlier, I was hoping that this was something that 15 Republicans AGs were trying to urge the Supreme Court to make Ethernet, broadband, uh, easier and more affordable and more accessible to poor people. But unfortunately, that's not the case. So unfortunately, it's 15 Republicans AGs who are urging the Supreme Court to make provide affordable broadband to poor people illegal. So I was looking at this in more positive matter early in the video, and in the end, it just became that the 15 Republican AGs that want to make accessibility to affordable broadband to poor people illegal. Again, people, why you keep voting for Republicans? I was hoping for something better. Reading this article now, yeah, it's not what I was hoping for. So more details about it. Um, this is something I'm gonna put in my description, like I said earlier, but that's sad. I was hoping it was the opposite. A lot of these things I'm reading like literally today, I just find out a bunch of stuff over time, and I found these things interesting. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section about everything I spoke today. Trump, getting rid of 80,000 employees from the Veterans Affairs. That's his aim. How the 15 Republican AGs trying to make it legal for, asking the Supreme Court to make it legal for people to have accessibility to affordable broadband does not make sense. And the whole situation with the new memo from the White House and what Governor of Cali wants to do about making people of his administration to come back to the office, as much as possible. Let me know in the comment section. I'll reply to as many of you as I can. And if you're liking this video, just please like and subscribe. And if you're watching this on TikTok, same thing. Follow us on TikTok, and also comment and reply in TikTok as well. All right. Have a good day.